Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Gloucester Unitarian Universalist Church's online service. We cannot gather together in our beloved church building right now, but we remember that a church is made up of its people, wherever they are. We are together this moment in spirit, even though we are apart. A very special welcome to any visitors with us this morning. We're glad to have you with us, and we hope that this service will bring you the support you need for the week ahead. And now, Roger Garberg, our worship associate, has a few announcements.
Good morning. Welcome to the 6th virtual service of the Gloucester Unitarian Universalist Church. Our first announcement, our standard request for these virtual services is that you keep your microphone muted throughout the service. Now, we'll be recording the service leaders, but in accordance with the church policy, we won't record anyone else. So if you'd like to watch the recording later in the week, you can just contact Janet or myself and we'll give you the link for that. Now, we'd love to include more people in our worship team. We need people to record, host a service, and produce the videos. So if you'd like to be involved and want to learn some new skills, there's absolutely a place for you. Talk to me, Pat Johnson, Janet, or any member of the Music and Liturgy Committee. Okay. If you'd like to learn more about the church, please email the church office or visit our website or Facebook page. We're very virtual. Our contact information will be shown at the end of the service. And now, let us prepare our hearts and our spirits for worship.
Our call to worship this morning is a morning offering by poet John O'Donohue.
Annie, I don't know how to get on.
I bless the night that nourished my heart to set the ghosts of longing free into the flow and figure of dream that went to harvest from the spark, bread for the hunger no one sees. All that is eternal in me welcomes the wonder of this day, the field of brightness it creates, offering time for each thing to arise and illuminate. I place on the altar of dawn the quiet loyalty of breath, the tent of thought where I shelter, waves of desire I am sure to, and all beauty drawn to the eye. May my mind come alive today to the invisible geography that invites me to new frontiers, to break the dead shell of yesterdays, to risk being disturbed and changed. May I have the courage today to live the life that I would love, to postpone my dream no longer, but do at last what I came here for, and waste my heart on fear no more. Come, let us worship together. Our opening hymn this morning is O Brother Sun. It's number 1066 in the Turquoise Handbook. Susan will play a brief introduction, and then you can join us in singing. The words of the hymn will appear on your screen.
as we do every Sunday when we gather in our sanctuary. Am I on here? Yeah. We open our service today by lighting our chalice. Today we will all join together to light our own chalices and candles from wherever we are. By doing this, we symbolize that though we may be temporarily apart in body, we're together in spirit. But if you prepared a candle at home, please take a moment now to light it as I light mine. When it is lit, if you can, hold it up to the camera for a moment. We take a moment now to affirm the covenant that we share with one another. Please read along with me. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift.
In late 2010, when I was recovering from a rather difficult bout of depression, I came across a poem by Pablo Neruda. I read it over and over and over again, hoping that the message would sink in. The poem, along with the love of family and friends, helped to create the courage I needed to get out of bed and go for a long overdue winter walk. So I hope it brings you hope during the difficult times we're all going through right now. The poem is titled, If Each Day Falls. If each day falls inside each night, there exists a well where clarity is imprisoned. We need to sit on the rim of the well of darkness and fish for fallen light with patience.
You think this is just another day in your life? It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you today. It's given to you. It's a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now, and the only appropriate response is gratefulness. If you do nothing else but to cultivate that response to the great gift that this unique day is, if you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. Begin by opening your eyes and be surprised that you have eyes you can open. That incredible array of colors that is constantly offered to us for pure enjoyment. Look at the sky. We so rarely look at the sky. We so rarely note how different it is from moment to moment with clouds coming and going. We just think of the weather, and even of the weather we don't think of all the many nuances of weather. We just think of good weather and bad weather. This day, right now, is unique weather. Maybe a kind that will never exactly in that form come again. The formation of clouds in the sky will never be the same that is right now. Open your eyes, look at that. Look at the faces of people whom you meet. Each one has an incredible story behind their face. A story that you could never fully fathom. not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. We all go back so far. And in this present moment, on this day, all the people you meet, all that life from generations and from so many places all over the world flows together and meets you here like a life-giving water if you only open your heart and drink. Open your heart to the incredible gifts that civilization gives to us. You flip a switch and there is electric light. You turn a faucet and there is warm water and cold water and drinkable water. It's a gift that millions and millions in the world will never experience. So these are just a few of an enormous number of gifts to which we can open your heart. And so I wish you that you will open your heart to all these blessings and let them flow through you, that everyone whom you will meet on this day will be blessed by you. Just by your eyes, by your smile, by your touch, just by your presence. Let the gratefulness overflow into blessing all around you. And then it will really be a good day.
So in the words of Jane Hirschfield, the next poem reminds us that the mourning for the world must not overwhelm gratitude for what is being lost, that grief must not obscure praise, and that it's negligent to forget to love this moment's very existence. This is God's Grandeur by Gerald Manley Hopkins. The world is charged with the grandeur of God. It will flame out like shining from shook foil. It gathers to a greatness like the ooze of oil crushed. Why do men thou not wreck his rod? Generations have trod, have trod, have trod, and all is seared with trade, bleared, smeared with toil, and wears man's smudge and shares man's smell. The soil is bare now, nor can foot feel being shod. And for all this, nature is never spent. There lives the dearest freshness deep down things. And though the last lights off the black west went, oh morning at the brown brink eastward springs, because the Holy Ghost over the bent world broods with warm breast and with bright wings.
I invite us now into a time of prayer to be followed by silent meditation. As we do in our in-person services, we will go directly into singing. The words will appear on your screens. Our prayer this morning is a contemporary version of Psalm 59 from the book Psalms for Praying by Nan Merrill. Now, Psalms, whether in traditional or contemporary translations, offer us a glimpse into the human need for lament, for anger and grief and fear, and then also for praise and gratitude. As you listen, you will be able to hear the writer pass from one emotion to another, and then to end with gratitude and joy. So I invite you to sit comfortably, and we'll begin. Awaken me from my fears, O my beloved. Give me strength to face them as they rise up within me. Let your love envelop me and direct my thoughts to peaceful paths. Where I have erred in thought and spoken in anger, where I have acted without love, I ask forgiveness. Rouse yourself, come to my aid, heed my cry. For you are the compassionate one, comforter to all who ask. You come to those who seek you. O mender of broken hearts, create a new heart within me. I long to sleep at night in peace, to awaken to a new dawn. Too long have my fears, my guilt pursued me, whispering lies in my ears and evoking beguiling images of illusionary darkness. Yes, in you, O my beloved, I find rest. I am strong. You remember not my erring ways. Your forgiveness is forever. Oh, my strength, I will sing praises to you, for you are my rock. With steadfast love, you stand with me. You teach me to face my fears. They disappear in the light. Cast them not out, but help me face them. Give me courage to let them go one by one, O Comforter, my strength. Let me make amends and start anew. Help me grow in wisdom and understanding. For the havoc that my fears wield within me turns to chaos in my life, wounding others and leading to a living death. Then, as I become free of fear, I will live in harmony. Love will shine through, and people will know that you live in my heart. At night, I will rest in the heart of the beloved. My days will be guided by love. My thoughts will become prayers offered from the silence deep within. Oh, how I will sing of your kindness. I will sing aloud of your love for all, for you have been my rock and my refuge in the days of my distress. I sing my songs of love to you, for you, O beloved, have renewed my life. You have set me free to live with gratitude and joy. Blessed be. Amen.
Our final reading today follows the Hopkins reference towards where there lives the dearest freshness, deep down things. The poem is an exchange of questions and answers. Myrn will be answering the questions and I'll be asking them. Gratitude by Mary Oliver. What did you notice?
The dew snail, the low-flying sparrow, the bat on the wind in the dark, big-chested geese in the V of sleekest performance, the soft-toed patient in the hard, hot sand, the sweet, hungry ants, the uproar of mice in the empty house, the tin music of the cricket's body, the blouse of the goldenrod,
What did you hear?
The thrush greeting the morning, the little bluebirds in their hot box, the salty talk of the wren, then the deep cup of the hour of silence.
When did you admire?
The oaks letting down their dark and hairy fruit, the carrot rising in its elongated waist, the onion, sheet after sheet, curved inward to the pale green wand. At the end of summer, the brassy dust, the almost liquid beauty of the flowers. Then the ferns, scrawled black by the frost.
What astonished you?
The swallows making their dip and turn over the water.
What would you like to see again?
My dog, her energy and exuberance, her willingness, her language beyond all nimbleness of tongue, her recklessness, her loyalty, her sweetness, her strong legs, her curled black lip, her snap.
And what was most tender?
Queen Anne's lace with its parsnip root, the everlasting in its bonnets of wool, the kinks and turns of the Tupelo's body, the tall blank banks of sand, the clam clamped down.
What was most wonderful?
The sea and its wide shoulders, the sea and its triangles, the sea lying back on its long athlete's spine.
What did you think was happening?
The green breast of the hummingbird, the eye of the pond, the wet face of the lily, the bright puckered knee of the broken oak, the red tulip of the fox's mouth, the upswing, the downpour, the frayed sleeve of the first snow. So the gods shake us from our sleep.
There is a great joy in an unworn path. This is according to Lord Byron, a poet from the late 16th and early 17th century. He shared this with me from the other side via an herbal tea bag. An unworn path, however, often causes great fear and anxiety. And where's the joy in that? How do we move from fear and anxiety to Lord Byron's claim of joy? Well, maybe we can move through this unworn COVID path with quotes, because I've got another one. David Stendhal Rast, a Benedictine monk who recited his poem A Good Day earlier, told Krista Tippett during an interview on NPR that joy is the happiness that doesn't depend on what happens. Joy is the happiness that doesn't depend on what happens. Well, that's dandy, and I found it kind of confusing, but what I came up with is happiness is an emotion, whereas joy has the hallmarks of a way of being. And according to Stendhal Rast, we can create a joyful baseline through the practice of gratitude. So there is predictable gratitude, and then there is radical gratitude. Predictable gratitude. Someone you love hears back from their oncologist that they're 5 years free of cancer. You share your joy together with fits of laughter. Your doorbell rings, you open a door, it's your child with their Marine uniform. You had no idea they were home. Your heart fills as you sob and embrace. Those are natural reactions to circumstances, predictable gratitude. But how do you feel and react when your friend is diagnosed with cancer or your child leaves for a war-torn country? So tap into that fear, that anxiety, those unknowns. Was gratitude woven in there anywhere? Is that even possible? I believe that it is. Radical gratitude. How do we cultivate radical gratitude? All of us have embarked on an unworn path with an unknown destination. For myself, the consequences of the coronavirus has at times left me feeling a little dark, and living alone made it worse. So I packed my stuff and moved myself and Claire the cat to Boston with my sister, her wife, my niece from another sister, Hercules the cat, and Roxy the dog. Together, we sit on the rim of the well of darkness and fish for fallen light. It's a tight fit, but it is much more fun than being alone, or than fishing alone. And for that, I am grateful. But do we have to choose between gratitude and feeling the horrors bestowed upon us by the coronavirus? Of course not. Can we be emotionally pained and grateful? Or do we have to choose to feel one then the other, sort of like a ping pong match? During the NPR interview I mentioned earlier, Krista contemplates the Psalms, similar to the one Janet shared with us earlier. She says, "It seems to me that the Psalms provide such a rich demonstration of gratitude. It's woven into almost every psalm in some way, right? But it is held together with the expression of every single conceivable human emotion: anger, fury, murderous fury, a sense of injustice and unfairness, and despair and sadness and disappointment. And the gratitude is still there as a kind of insistence. It's more resilient than the circumstances of the moment." The Psalms offer radical gratitude as an equanimous gratitude. If joy were a balloon, radical gratitude would be its helium. It instills a seamless sense of joy, regardless of circumstance. Developing a practice of radical gratitude can be a solve for our difficult emotional responses to this unprecedented time of uncertainty and can help us shape our new normal. Do we say we're grateful for COVID-19? No. Do we say we're grateful for the confusion emanating from our highest leaders? Absolutely not. What we do say is, "I have cried a bathtub full of tears for the multi-layered damage this virus is causing, and I am grateful for the beauty of the flowering dogwood tree." We say, "I am appalled at every single White House press conference, and I am grateful for the love of my family." Rick and Forrest Hansen share 4 steps that help cultivate gratitude in their book, Resilient: How to Grow an Unshakable Core of Calm, Strength, and Happiness. And here are 4 steps toward radical gratitude. Being thankful. The Hansens say it's not about denying reality. It's about appreciating what is also true. They suggest keeping a gratitude journal and taking a few moments to experience the joy that being grateful offers. Number 2, simple pleasures. Even when things are at their most difficult and pleasure seems a luxury, we may need to take time for pleasure. It can be as simple as enjoying a glass of water on a hot day, a 10-minute walk around the block, or it can be more extravagant, like scheduling an hour to paint, draw, or write, or do whatever makes you feel pleasure. Number 3, feeling successful. Getting out of bed, eating breakfast, sending an email, calling a friend. Redefining success allows making each step to any goal a success. So eating soup involves smaller steps: holding the spoon, dipping it in the bowl, bringing it to the lips. Each is a success because one cannot happen without the other. And lastly, 4, being happy for others. And sometimes this isn't easy. We tend to measure ourselves against others, and disappointment and envy easily can take hold. If we take a moment and focus on the blessings that we have and recognize nothing anyone else has can take what we have away, we have begun the process. Resilient is a wonderful and easy book to read, and I wholeheartedly suggest it to anyone looking to develop a core of calm, strength, and happiness. So regardless of where or how you start, it is undeniable that beginning a practice of gratitude will improve how you experience joy in your life, even during difficult times. I can promise you this, as COVID-19 breaks our old normal and the unworn path we walk shapes a new one, if we believe that it's not just another day and that it's the only gift that we have right now, the grace of gratitude will show us that joy is the happiness that doesn't depend on what happens.
When we are together, we would normally take up a collection at this point in our service. During our season of virtual services, we instead ask you to use snail mail to direct your contributions and pledges to the church. The address is 10 Church Street in Gloucester. We're grateful for your financial support.
Last week, Reverend Janet ended her reflection with the words, "May we learn to be grateful." And may it be so. The benediction she chose is fitting and bears repeating. So words this morning are from the UN Environmental Sabbath Service. We rejoice in all life. We live in all things. All things live in us. We live by the sun. We move with the stars. We eat from the earth. We drink from the rain. We breathe from the air. We share with the creatures. We have strength through their gifts. We have the privilege of seeing and understanding. We have the responsibility of caring. We have the joy of celebrating. We are full of the grace of creation. We are graceful. We are grateful. We rejoice in all life. Blessed be and amen.
God be with you till we meet again. By His counsel's guide uphold you. With His sheep securely for you. God be with you till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. May His counsel's guide uphold you. In His arms securely for you. Love be with you till we meet again.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. 'Twas blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first when we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining.